This is a video by Richmond. We're working on a Model A Ford today, and what we're doing is we're rebuilding the fuel shutoff. On this 31, the fuel shutoff is right here on the firewall. On the 28, the 29, and the 30, it's inside. So what we're going to do is, to rebuild it, we're going to disassemble the fuel shutoff and put new packing in it. We have a spare on the bench right now that we're going to rebuild. Here is the rebuild kit we're going to be using. It has packing, a nut, a lock washer, and a little container of lubricant, and there's some directions in there. And if you can see that, it cost us a whole $1.75. Alright, now we have our spare valve on the bench, and we're going to start disassembling it.
To remove this nut on top, use a 3/8 wrench. Then it unscrews, very simple.
Now that holds the handle.
That holds the handle,
okay,
which only fits on one way.
Alright.
And you put that down. Then this nut is an 11/16, and you turn this to loosen it up, and you'll take this out. Now you'll find a big piece of packing in here that does not move. The only way I got this out was to set it on a block of wood, the edge of it. Took it and turned it like this on the thing and put a shaft in through this hole and drove it out. And then it came out.
Okay.
So now you put this all down here.
So those are all the parts.
And these are all the parts to assemble it back together.
Alright, let me get a close-up of all those parts. So when you disassemble your valve, these are all the parts of the valve. We have the nut and the washer that hold the arm on, and then we have this nut that holds the packing on, and then we have the valve itself that was inside of the fuel valve housing. So those are all the parts you'll get when you disassemble the valve. After we disassembled the valve, the first thing we did was inspect this part right here, which is called the stem. Now, this tapered area right here is very crucial in its sealing of the valve. So you want to inspect that very closely. Now, if you see a lot of lines and burrs on it, you want to take some lapping compound and lap it in the valve so you get a good seal in there. This one right here is in good shape. So what we did after that is that we wire brushed this surface right here. This is where the packing goes. Now after that, we realized we could see right here a little burr. So we're going to take a small needle file set and we're going to knock down that little burr. So that's what we're going to do now. Now here's my small needle file right here, and I'm going to dress that little burr right down there, just like that. After I got the burr off of this piece right here, what I did was took some mineral spirits, cleaned the whole valve, cleaned the nut, and also the valve body right here.
This is stop leak paste in this tube. You have to put it on this, and then you can put the packing on. Packing slides on like this, goes down in. Now you take this tube, you get a little more of this paste and cover this whole thing with paste. Once you've covered it all with paste, you can insert it into the body, which I've just done with the paste. So now you take this stem, make sure which direction, the rounded section. Now you take the rounded section and you put it so that the rounded section is towards this part. Now you can take the nut and put the nut onto this to tighten it. Now I have to set this right there. It's difficult to do. Now you don't tighten this too tight because it'll crush the stuff, the sealer. Then you can put this on. See how easy it turns. That's sufficient in tightness.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can put the lock washer on, and the new nut does not have the right threads, so I had to use the old nut.
Right, so the nut on this kit, so what they have to watch out for is the nut on the kit to make sure that it matches up with their existing valve. Right.
Now you put this nut on and you tighten it up so that the handle is, I have it in the closed position.
Here's the valve all together. What we did is we made sure that this nut right here was turned down till it cleared the flats on the stem. And once we did that, we were able to tighten the nut for the lever right here so it wouldn't bind on the nut. And what we will do is once we get it on the vehicle, this is very tight now with that packing in there. So what we're going to use is a little pipe to open it and close it till it seats itself in. That takes a little time to do. What you can do if you want before you put it on is you can take a rubber tipped blowgun, put it right in here, and maybe put some fluid right in here and see if you're getting bubbles through there. That would tell you if your valve is sealing properly. And that's all there is to rebuilding your fuel shutoff valve on your Model A Ford.